Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to our channel, Why Not Now. My name is Steven. This is my beautiful wife, Lisa Marie. Before we get started with this video, have your own experience, go have your own experience, go have your own experience. This is our experience, this is our experience, this is our experience.
Husband, why are you saying this so many times?
I'm saying it because people tend to hear what they want to hear and they just make it to what they want it to be. And that's why we say go have your own experience.
This is just our experience.
Our experience, exactly.
And we love to share with you, which is why our valuable viewers who we love and adore, most of our viewers are incredibly amazing. You guys have been with us since day one, and you follow us because you know that we are going to speak the truth based on our personal experience, and you value that, and we value you for that. Thank you for not getting offended every time we have an opinion that differs with yours, and just knowing that we are being transparent and honest people. So let's get it going. What are we talking about today?
We are pretty much talking about why, as you guys know, we were in Mazatlan. Why we decided not to make Mazatlan our home base. That's what this video is going to be about. And we're going to have 4 points, and we're going to share that with you guys. This is our honest opinion. This is how we were viewing it. You know,
and we were there for a few weeks.
Yeah, we were there for pretty much a month.
Oh, close to, and seriously considered living there. We looked at many apartments. We wanted to look at a lot of apartments to really be sure that what we were seeing was legit and it wasn't just maybe a few experiences that were similar, which is why we took the time to really dig through the rental market there and see what that's looking like. Make sure you check out our last video, which is where we were on the beach. Guys, excuse that the wind noise. It was a really windy day on the beach there in beautiful Mazatlan, and we did our best. We do have a what do you call it? I'm sorry,
wind buffer, wind muffler.
Right, but it can only do so much. It was really windy, but we did give you some really good tips based on personal experience, based on our footwork. Make sure you check that out. We also showed you around Centro in Mazatlan. We also lived in Oaxaca City for a short time. Beautiful Oaxaca. We did not have the opportunity to travel throughout other parts of the state, but in the future, we do plan to go back and visit it, but we did decide Oaxaca was not for us. Make sure you check out. We have initial impressions of Oaxaca. We have the why we chose Oaxaca and then why it didn't work for us. We give you our honest opinion based on valid data, valid information, based on renting an apartment, living within a local area, why it did not work for us. Additionally, for those of you who are new, I have to say this, because a lot of times people don't know, we have our residency in Mexico. We've been living in Mexico for about close to a year and a half, and we actually made Queretaro, Santiago de Queretaro, our home for 1 full year. We were living there. We know Queretaro in and out. We have neighborhood tours. We have cost of living in Queretaro, multiple cost of living, apartment tours. So make sure you check out our library of videos because we have a lot of good information for you.
Yep, we do. All right, so let's get into it.
Well, how many points are we starting with?
We have 4.
We'll elaborate on them.
We're going to start with number 1. Like I said, this is our opinion. Very touristy. In our opinion, Mazatlan was very touristy over there, and I'm going to be looking down from time to time, looking at notes, but I'm just going to freestyle it too. Reason I say it was very touristy because every time you would walk to the beach or you just walk down the little street, someone would walk up to you trying to sell you tours or asking, are you vacationing? Are you vacationing? And it's like, no, we actually are residents of Mexico. We live in Mexico. We're looking to live here in Mazatlan. We're not vacationing.
And funny because he thought by telling them that would kind of like end the conversation, but it went in one ear and out the other, and it kind of became to the point where you feel like you're being it's a torture, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
It's too much.
Yeah, we on the beach sitting down, just enjoying each other's company, and people run up on you saying
every 3 minutes trying to sell you something.
Do you want to get in the boat, go to the island?
Yeah.
Do you want to go do this?
Do you want to buy this?
Do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that? I'm like, no, I don't like this. Like, it's just constant. And I'm not knocking their hustle. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
They have to get money. They have to get money, but it becomes to a point where it's like, no, I just want to relax and take in the scenery,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure. I was also going to say that we went out there. I remember one morning, it was like 7:30 in the morning, and we were like, okay, we're gonna go out there really early. We're gonna go ahead and put our feet in the water, just chat. And then right away, within not even like 5 minutes of being in the water, someone came up and was trying to sell us a tour. And we were nice. I mean, we chatted with him. It was an older gentleman. I'm not mad at him. That's his livelihood. But for a long-term living situation, the reason why we would want to move to Mazatlan is to be next to the ocean because, we love the ocean. But if it was, we thought to ourselves, well, if it would be like this, based on the fact that the city really thrives on tourism, it probably wouldn't be the best for us personally for a long-term living situation.
No, because also on the strip, what's the name of the strip? Avenue de Camarones or Sabalo de Camarones, something like that. Something with shrimp. They had casinos. Tons of casinos,
like every 2
man.
blocks, right?
Yeah, tons of casinos over there. And it was just like a lot of partying. You get the Aurigas, always mess that up, and Palomos.
Oh, the Aurigas are, we showed them in our walking through Centro Mazatlan video. It's a shared ride. It's like a red pickup truck. And then the Pulmonias are the golf carts.
Yeah. And they come blasting music and stuff, having a good time. Nothing's wrong with that. But I'll be honest with you, when we were in the hotel, we were trying to get some rest, and it's just like constantly banda and all that stuff, which I said it just didn't work for us because of that. It was just very touristy over there.
Yeah, it just seemed like every and I get it. It's for vacation. People come there to party, but and we had to look at it from a long-term perspective. Okay, this is cool right now for us. We were enjoying it, but in the long term, let's say when we're working, when we're not feeling well, when we just want some quiet, when we're living here, making it our home in the long term, how would we like it? And we had to weigh the pros and cons of that, which really told us, in the long term, this is what it's going to be. And it just wasn't for us. Yeah,
we looked at apartments before someone say, well, you're looking in only the Golden Zone. No, we looked at apartments all up through Central and everywhere. And it just was constant tourism going on over there.
Yeah.
All right, so let me get into number 2. Leading to, when we were looking at other apartments, inflated prices. We felt the prices over there were just so high. So it just cost so much.
We mentioned this actually in one of our other videos. We were talking to the business owners and what they were telling us, the locals.
Yeah, and she was telling us, it was a lady over there in Playa Sur. She owned a bakery, and she was just telling us how it's just so expensive to live that they have to go further out and live. And she was saying 6,000 pesos was a lot of money.
And funny, interesting.
Yeah, there was another business owner. She was talking to us, and she said they have to go further out and live in Real de Valle and other areas over there, and all the colonials.
Juarez.
They have to go live out there to pretty much make it, to survive.
And they're business owners, and they're doing well. They had a nice business, but they're still to the point where it just is too expensive. And we asked them, like we mentioned before, has it always been this way? Because we know that Mazatlan has been, a prime gem. A lot of foreigners, a lot of Canadians have been coming there, and a mixture of people from the U.S. as well. But mostly Canadians have been coming down there for many, many decades.
Oh yeah.
But we asked them, when did they notice the change? And they said about 2-3 years ago was when the prices went from affordable to through the roof expensive.
Yeah, well, as you guys know, we talked to a lot of locals. The Uber drivers were telling us, like they said, Mazatlan used to be just más barato. Like, what can you not afford in Mazatlan? And what my wife was saying, due to the snowbirds and influx of people coming there, the rentals just going up 15,000, 16,000 pesos. And to you guys, that may not seem like a lot of money, but we're on a budget. We don't have a pension coming in. We don't have all those things coming in for us, so we're trying to stay on a budget. And you watch our Queretaro, Mexico video, our budget was around $1,200 a month, so.
Well, let's be very clear what that means. That means everything. So we did a cost of living video. So when we compare, we always talk in pesos, but we're only talking in USD now. It's for those of you, maybe you can't convert quickly in your mind. We usually talk in pesos, but when we say 1,200 USD, that's for both of us. That's for our dogs. That's for medication for our dogs with seizure. That's for grocery. That's for anything that we want to do that's enjoyable. Our rent, everything. That's everything. Meaning that is our max budget, and we'd like to get it even lower. Total cost of living. That's how and even if, honestly, I'll be very honest, even if we had a pension coming in,
We still would.
We have our beliefs. We believe that not in order for us not to contribute to the inflation of pricing, you have to be wise. We always say this in our other videos. We answer this in comments. When people make comments, we respond and let them know, you have to look and educate yourself. People ask us, how do you go about finding apartments, and what tips do you have? And I tell them, number one, educate yourself on the local average working class salary of the city, of the country that you're planning to live in. Mm-hmm. Number one. So, for example, if you see that the average working person is only making $400 or $500, we're talking USD now to make it easier for you. 4 or 5 in comparison, comparable to 400 or 500 USD a month, and then you're seeing apartments that are going for $700-800 a month. That doesn't make sense, people. I'm sorry. You have to compare and look. You could still have a nice place, but you don't have to contribute to that inflation where it's hard for the locals because they're getting pushed out now because they can't afford it, staying in the nicer areas, and also hard for people who are trying to actually come to relocate, to transition over to that new city or country, whether it be in the US or in another country. It doesn't matter. This happens all over the world. You have to be wise and do your best not to contribute to that problem. Of course, as a foreigner, we already know we're going to get hit with a higher tax, but try to minimize the impact by not being so readily available. Don't go and run and say, you want to go. Go and spend $1,000-2,000 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. That makes no sense. If you want to do that, at least get you a huge property that has multiple bedrooms and land and a beach. I mean, let it make sense for what it's going to be for.
And I don't know. There's documentaries on that. Documentary over in Puerto Rico, where they were pushing individuals out because they were saying that they are pricing apartments for foreigners. Or in Hawaii, how they were saying that they are pricing things for foreigners. And that's how we feel like coming from the States. If you're paying all this money and then you come down here, you want to live this lifestyle. It's like, don't say you want to live the same lifestyle or whatever. What's the real legitimate reason that you move down here, Yeah,
like for us, we knew when we came here, we loved the culture. Of course, we wanted affordability. We wanted to get away from like the rat race, as you would call it, from the United States. We have a different vision. We wanted to go ahead and help others transition to Mexico because it was hard for us to find a channel that legitimately showed true day-to-day life. It's hard. You see a lot of like younger people or just the fun stuff or the touristy stuff. It's really not, it's a lot of fantasy out there, and we're here to bring you some real legit day-to-day living via a platform that pretty much, idolizes fantasy living. I'm going to be very straight and very frank with you all, very candid. A lot of you say you love our candor. Well, I'm giving you the candor. This is the truth. So, when we came down here, we knew, obviously, we were blessed. Okay, foreign currency here at this point in time, it could change, right? It goes a little bit further. So we didn't come here and say, okay, let's live above our means now because now our dollar goes further. We just, let's dumb it down even more. How can we live even more simple, without having the stress of the rat race and working all those hours and never seeing each other, never having time with family, and to the point of where you have a situation come up, an emergency, a spouse gets sick and you're on the brink of losing everything, but you're considered middle class. We don't want that lifestyle anymore. So we came here to Mexico to be more wise and to be frugal and be smart about how we spend our money here.
And that's just what it is. And also over there in Mazatlan, inflated prices, the real estate agents, they push you for that 1 year. And unless you talk directly to the owners will probably work something out with you, but the real estate agent will talk that 1 year. So that's...
and you'll see that as you deal with the real estate agents, they know that when you contact them, that they know 9 times out of 10, you're even more so 10 out of 10, you're going to be a foreigner. So even if you talk, if you type in Spanish to them, they know, I promise you, I've done it. Every time I reach out, I text everything in Spanish. I leave, but still they somehow know because you have to understand the way that they speak in Mexico is different than even if you were to use Google Translate. They can pinpoint totally that you're not from Mexico. They know right away. They're smart. They're sharp. And they're going to go ahead and promote that higher pricing to you. And they're also going to push you into the 1-year contract because that's how their commission is structured. They get more commission. But then when you get in front of the owner, if you're ever lucky to get in front of the owner, because a lot of times the real estate agent is your primary point of contact, The owner's fine. They want to work out a deal. They just want to go ahead and get a good tenant in there who's going to pay.
Yeah.
But the real estate agent will, if you don't get a chance to talk to the owner, good luck, because they're going to pretty much tell you, no, this is only for a year. Yeah. And the owner has no idea that they're saying this. So they're pretty much turning people away because they want that year contract.
Yep. All right. Once again, this is our opinion. Number 3, climate. When we say climate, we realize that it's hot down in Mazatlan, just like it will be in Merida. I'm pretty sure it's beautiful in Merida and all that stuff, but it's hot down there. We've heard
people say, "Woo, it's so hot."
Yeah, we've heard of people. We've met people that moved to Queretaro. They reached out to us and moved. Oh, Merida is too hot, so we prefer the seasons, you know.
Yeah,
and that's
or
one
drier
thing.
Climate.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we realize. You know, we realize that we prefer seasonal weather, you know, like it's a little cool or a little warm, and that's what we prefer.
Yeah, and when we were in Mazatlan, obviously it was winter time, and there were times we'd wake up at 7:30 in the morning and it felt like it was 80 something degrees already.
Yeah.
And that was the winter. And then of course, you know, at nighttime it'd feel amazing. The breeze would come through, feel incredible. Yeah. But a lot of the locals told us, and we asked them about, like, does it rain a lot there? They were like, no, not much. And we asked about the hottest months, and they said, oh my God, it is horrible. It's horrible in the hot months. They said it's so hot. They have multiple AC units in like their businesses, and they said they don't even try to go outside too much. So we realized, gosh, if it feels hot to us in the winter, we can only imagine in the summertime. And although the beach was incredibly beautiful, we just realized, you know, you have to just
you're not going to be on the
if you don't like heat year round, eventually it's going to catch up to you there.
Yeah, because you're not going to be on the beach all the time. But yeah, just go down there yourself when you go to Mazatlan to visit. Go look in the businesses. You will see they have like 3 or 4 AC units up there. And that led to us believing, or just knowing, because we also talked to them about the electric bill. They were saying the electric bill would be crazy price. A lot of real estate agents say, oh, no, it's cheap. They don't believe them. You're going to be pumping that AC, man, and it gets hot. Of course, you can become used to it. Like I had a brother that lived in Phoenix, Arizona, and he would say, like, man, you know, we're from the South. And he's like, man, this weather down here is just hot. He said it doesn't matter. Like, you turn the AC on, it's not doing anything. It's just freaking hot. So you become used to it eventually, but it's hot. That's one thing.
We asked the locals. The locals said, well, we adapt, and you may adapt too. You may love it. You know, maybe you like that hot, that warm weather. Some people do amazing in that kind of climate, but for us personally, it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. All right. And
now for vacation, I would definitely 100% go back to Mazatlan over visiting or other areas as well.
Yeah, vacation. And also my wife mentioned, this is not one of the reasons, but my wife was mentioning about rain. We met a local. He told us when it rains down there, oh my gosh, it floods the streets. Yeah. So he was pretty much telling us the reasoning why it was a lot of water and everything in the street.
You showed that in our walking tour in Centro. There was a big hole and it was filled with ocean water. Something like that.
He was saying this. He said it was below or above ocean level, something like that. He was mentioning to it, and he said when it rains, the neighborhoods that are low, he said they're gonna get flooded, cars gonna be messed up. So he was just saying that could be an ongoing problem down there.
And what was interesting is that when they would water the grass, it would just, every morning we saw like pools of water. And think about that. Imagine if it were to rain. So
yeah, it's crazy.
but even Queretaro was known to have some flooding, not as bad as some of the northern parts of the state, but you get flooding.
Oh yeah, rainy season in Queretaro was a beast. When we were staying down there, man, the street we were staying on was just flooding. Like
we had footage of that actually.
Yeah, it was crazy. All right, number 4. Last. We weren't a big fan of the direction that the city was going.
Yeah.
And for us to get more into that, elaborate more, it's just more of that. Foreigners were kind of coming down there, and it was turning. They were switching the culture.
They were changing. They were changing the environment. And I'm gonna say this. You know, we mentioned earlier in the video that we weren't a fan of like the party nightlife and whatnot 24/7. But we would know if we chose to live there, we may go and live a little bit further out, away from like the golden zone where all this partying is going on, or away from the beach. You know what you need to do, you know, if you want to get more quiet.
Exactly.
But in this particular case, now we talked to multiple locals, and it's in the area that is known for this type of noise and this type of partying, you know, because that's just where people go.
They were shutting it down. They didn't want I keep messing up the word.
Carnival.
Of course they don't want the carnival They're trying to postpone the carnival, and I think even now that they're asking the governor is asking the mayor to postpone the carnival, and the carnival has been going on since 1898, man.
Yeah.
And they said that's the third largest party, like festival, behind Rio de Janeiro
and Mardi Gras.
And the Mardi Gras. In the Mardi Gras in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So they're trying to stop that, and a local as well. They always tell us that they're trying to petition against that, stopping the carnival.
Yeah, we were shocked. We actually heard this when we were leaving. We already had booked our flight and we were on our way out, and we were talking to a local, and he told us, he said, we were kind of having a conversation. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the rental pricing? How do you feel about foreigners living here? We like to get the locals' opinions. We always want to hear their opinion, and we tell them we won't get offended. We're open. Just as long as you're respectful, you're not like cursing or anything. We're fine. We want to hear your thoughts. And he told us, he said, it really ticks me off that it's our culture. We've been doing this for forever. The Carnival, the banda music, and the Carnival goes all through the streets. It's a big celebration in February. But he said, can you believe that they are actually, the foreigners that are living here, he said they are wanting it to stop permanently because they don't like the noise that the Carnival brings. They don't like that festival. They don't like all of that music, banda music. And, I think that's pretty sad because that's part of what makes Mazatlan. You go there for that culture.
It is Mazatlan.
When you come to visit or vacation, that's what you want. You want to hear all that. You want to see all that. It's part of that culture. And, I don't know why they would even consider shutting that down. I mean, I guess it's sad. I don't want to say too much, but it's sad.
And also the Pulmonías and the how you say it? Aurigas. They were wanting them to stop playing music when they go through certain areas, and I was noticing a lot of signs saying no loud music, no this going on. And also we had that experience as well when we were looking at apartments. They had signs posted up saying
in
that
the building of the apartment.
In the building saying no dragging of furniture, no dogs barking, no loud music. And the property manager,
she was showing us a couple of properties in there, and she was really, really sweet to us. And she's like, your dogs don't bark, right? And I said, well, of course, no, they don't constantly bark all day. But if you knock on the door, it's in a dog's nature. They're going to bark because you're coming next to their territory, right? You're knocking on the door. They're going to protect their owner. But she said, oh, okay, that's no problem. And I said, why? And it made me concerned. I said, why? What's going on? And she told us, she's from Mazatlan, and she said to us, a lot of the foreigners that live here that live in these buildings, they complain, they don't want to hear any noise, and that's why we posted all these signs up. And I'm thinking, geez, like, I get it, you want to keep some peace in the community, but this is getting to the point of being, you're just coming somewhere and just taking over, and it's sad.
And somebody had said it in one of our recent videos, the video we had done. He was explained that in the comments. He said the neighbors would consider that to be a problem with the noise or whatever. And to me, I'm like, wow, this is 2022, like everybody has pets. Everybody's pets aren't all crazy, jumping all over the place, barking night in and night out. But it's like, we have our dogs are very well behaved, which
also made it a lot harder for us to find an affordable apartment because of the fact that we had two little dogs. And as soon as they heard that, they were like, oh, no. And we didn't know what was going on. We're like, oh, these are two little they're little Yorkies.
Baby dogs.
They don't shed any hair. They're well behaved. But now we understand why. If they're preferring to rent, let's say, for example, to foreigners, then the foreigners are complaining. Of course, they're not going to want pets. And speaking of preferring, my husband actually had a conversation with a guy that was renting an Airbnb, that converted his Airbnb into a long-term rental. We actually went to check out the apartment, which was pretty crappy because it had a flood and whatnot, and he wanted to rent it. And what did he say? And I don't agree with this.
I don't either. He said it. He said, I'm going to be honest with you. I would rather rent to foreigners, to United States, Americans or Canadians, instead of rent to my own people. And when he said, I'm Mexican, and I'm kind of ashamed to say this.
And when he said it, I don't know. I looked at him and I said, you shouldn't say that, because not everyone isn't the same. There are people who don't take care of stuff, or who are loud in every culture.
Yeah.
You should come to the United States and see some of the problems that we've seen, how loud and obnoxious some people are in the United States. It's called, and I say this so many times, people live everywhere and people mess things up. It doesn't matter, where they're from or what country. They're everywhere.
Yep.
So
yeah, but we were shocked he said that. He told us that in English. Of course, the real estate agent was there as well, and she didn't understand.
She didn't understand. Yeah.
But he said, "Oh, I'm ashamed to say this, but I'd rather rent to foreigners. I'd rather rent to Americans or Canadians because of blase."
Yeah.
And I just looked at him.
There were a lot of opportunities for us to get apartments, and we just decided it wasn't right for us. And that apartment was actually kind of close within our budget, but it was just the way he took care of the property was so bad.
Yeah, it was mold. He had mold and stuff. You can see the mold forming in the bathroom. And I asked him, he said, well, I remember when I first got it, they said they fixed something that was an issue. So I'm going to check it out. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, bro, you see the mold forming.
And then he's like, well, if it becomes a problem, let me know. I'm like, no, you have a flood going on right now from your washer. Clearly you're not. There's no urgency in you taking care of the property, but then you want, I hate to say it, you want the rental amount for a property that's not worth what you're trying to rent it for. Just saying. But
once again, those are our 4 reasons why we decided not to make Mazatlan our home base. You guys go have your own experience. Mazatlan, I'm gonna be honest with you, I like Mazatlan.
It's beautiful.
Mazatlan was beautiful. You can have a good time there. They have seafood. They have just all sorts of food.
The locals are warm.
Locals are very warm.
People. And that the beach, to me, it has like this natural. Their beach is so special. I mean, you go there and you look at that, just the views of the beach. Yeah. It is incredibly beautiful. It just feels very natural. Yeah. I don't know. Mazatlan has a special place in my heart. Yeah. I was looking on the beach, and I took there were a couple of rocks that I found, and I cherished it so much, my experience, that I actually took 2 of these special rocks that I found and I saved them. My husband was like, stop picking up all the rocks, and I had to have a memory from Mazatlan, even though I can see that we'd go back there in the future to visit. We couldn't live there long term. It just wasn't for us. But we encourage you to go check out Mazatlan. It is a beautiful beach town with warm locals.
The locals are beautiful.
Just these tips that we've given you in the last video and this video, just it gives you an edge. Keep that in your back pocket, so when you're going there and you're talking to people, whether they're foreigners renting or whether they're real estate agents that are renting to you, you have some additional information now that can help you negotiate your prices, guys. No matter what you're renting, negotiate. Always negotiate.
Always. And go to Mazatlan. They're gonna be selling you oysters. They're gonna be playing the banda music. You're gonna see people dancing. You're gonna see people out there in the boats, kayak, and it's a beautiful city. I like Mazatlan. I'm gonna be honest with you, I like Mazatlan. It's worth going to check out. But far as us living there, it wouldn't have worked for us.
Yeah. So stay tuned, because you already know that we have found our home base. We haven't announced it to you yet. We will go ahead and let you know soon. We know for sure we're gonna be here for quite a bit. So. And as we always do, live the life that you were meant to live. Keep a grateful heart.
And remember, why not now? All right, guys. Peace.